Now let's hear the S4 HANA public cloud capabilities empowering end-to-end processes by Mr. Abhishek Sahi, Senior Director Customer Advisory SAP India. This session will explore the benefits of adopting S4 HANA public cloud solution for business processes. Please welcome Mr. Abhishek Sahi.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible at the back as well? Okay, perfect. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic to be here. Even better that we have a happy customer preceding me and kind of anyways answering a lot of the things that I'll be, presenting. So my name is Abhishek. I lead the customer advisory team for the corporate segment in India. Just a brief background about me. I have around 2 decades of experience. The first half was predominantly into implementations, and the second half mainly working for SAP in the customer advisory or the pre-sales divisions, as we call it. So, nobody knows, we don't need to introduce this gentleman. I thought that let me also, because it's post-lunch session, let me start with the story. So the story goes that Einstein was in Cambridge. He was walking the beautiful gardens in Cambridge. And he was very happy because he had just given a question paper to his students. And suddenly his assistant walked up to Einstein and asked that, sir, you have given the same paper as you gave last year as well. And Einstein very cleverly replied that the questions remain the same, but the answers change. And if you look at even the business landscape, the questions always remain the same. Even in the last session, I think Mr. Pramod was kind of highlighting the same thing as well, that many of the requirements from an industry standpoint pretty much are still the same. But of course, as I think the gentleman over there pointed out, the answers would have changed due to the new solution that SAP has to offer. And that new solution was developed keeping in mind certain hunger for innovation that's now there in the industry, considering multiple factors that the industry faces nowadays. So what are the issues that businesses strategically are facing right now? Of course, there are a lot of macroeconomic headwinds. It's the Trump tariff season, if we would want to call it. And, there are a lot of issues in terms of the wars that are happening, the China +1 strategy that is being trying to execute, that we are trying to execute, or the increased global as well as local competition, which is the local competition. There are a lot of new players that are coming now, challenging the old set of seasoned players. There is an insane pressure from investor community to have a more profitable growth rather than just focusing on the revenue increase. Plus, because of all these changes, there is an ever-increase focus on mergers and acquisitions and how seamlessly you are able to acquire or integrate the acquiry into your business or vice versa as well. There is a dire need from a working capital perspective because of the high interest rates that are currently going. The ever-increasing statutory compliance as businesses move internationally, as well as locally, we are seeing so much new compliances that are coming in, be it the green, be it related to sustainability, be it related to data residency, be it related to all the finance statutory compliances that we hear every year. And of course, as we are also collaborating much beyond our 4 walls of an organization, there is an ever-growing need of having ethical sourcing as well. And lastly, and by no means the least, I think talent attraction and retention is the most important issue that companies are facing. So when SAP is designing some of their products, the newest products, they also look at some of these strategic challenges because, of course, at the end of the day, we would want customer to get the maximum value out of our new products, be it on the industry capabilities perspective, be it on the process depth perspective, be it that you are able to build your own breakthroughs even on a public cloud platform like Grow, and I'll be speaking a little bit about the various extensibility options that SAP has. There has been a minute discussion already on some of the extensions in the previous session as well, but I'll just give a little bit more flavor as to what kind of extensions that you can do. You can also grow without limits. When we say grow without limits, there are a lot of localized country versions that are available on public cloud. We as a business, over the last 3 years, and I can talk about SAP India and the corporate segment that I represent, we have had a spectacular, nearly 80 to 90% CAGR growth on our public cloud names. So there's a lot of traction across multiple industries, barring few industries where we have seen immense traction on public cloud. And one of the reasons is because you can also build your own localization. I'll also touch upon that. Now we have customers also in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh who are using public cloud platform as we speak. They are customers who have gone live on our public platform and are been using our solution for the last year or so. And of course, how do you secure your success? So one of my colleagues had already highlighted some of it in the BTM session as well. So I'll also touch a little bit about that. So let me come to the industry best practices first. So of course, this is on a very high level, the industry process value chain, as we call it, from a public cloud perspective. What probably, this again, as I mentioned, is on a more of an L0 level. But what I would want to emphasize is that there are a lot of industry capabilities that are also embedded in that. So if I look at order to cash, it's not only from order and contract management, we have now capabilities which also move into the pre-sales phase. So you can do your opportunity tracking, you can put in your leads as well, and then you can measure how many leads have converted into opportunities and opportunities into finally into sales orders. We also have our pricing engine as part of public cloud. There is an integration, as the gentleman over there mentioned, there's already an integration with AVC as well, which is variants are very prevalent in the milk product industries. You also have integration, in terms of the ATP checks that are there. So we have multiple types of ATPs in public cloud: product substitution, product allocation, product availability check. Then there is also a check in terms of the transportation schedule that we have. Something similar, for example, in our traditional ECC, where a sales order used to have a check with a transportation management solution. Then on the manufacturing side, we do have certain industry capabilities specifically for milk products, things like co-products, byproducts. Then you have integration to engineering change management also. So that is part of the plan to produce or the plan to product, as you can see over here. Then on the record to report, predominantly all the solutions, all the capabilities that you can find in our traditional S/4HANA private cloud edition, practically all what you can find now in public cloud as well. Barring few industry things which are not part of this industry segment, but for some other industry segments, there are certain capabilities that are still part of our private edition. Some, for example, retail industry. Then from acquire to decommissioning, which is a maintenance management solution, again, majority, whatever is there on the private cloud side, you pretty much get that even in public cloud. Corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance. So all the master data objects that you generally are familiar with in the private cloud edition, you can find the same in our public cloud as well. From a procurement perspective, again, operational procurement anyways is part of it. That also, our public cloud also has built-in capabilities with our advanced procurement solutions like Ariba. So those capabilities are already integrated as part of our source to pay process. Sustainability, again, public cloud also has EHS capabilities. It can also integrate to our sustainability platforms like Sustainability Control Tower, where you can monitor your greenhouse gas emissions. Or you can also go one step below using our solution Sustainability Footprint Management to further fine-tune how you want to calculate that greenhouse gas emission. Then finally, because somebody's also already spoken in my previous session, we also have advanced variant configuration because the LOVC part is not part of our public cloud. That portion has been moved to another solution which is called as advanced variant configuration. But what key factor over here is that AVC connects across all the processes. It's not that the sales process and the order to cash process are integrated in a different fashion with ABC, just like in a traditional ECC setup, just like in a traditional S4HANA setup. The advanced variant configuration works in pretty much in the same fashion as it used to in the LOVC part. I think there was some conversation around the simplicity of the LOVC, and that is one of our answers to the requirements that customers always used to come to us, that it's quite tough to configure those object dependencies, as we used to call it in the LOVC domain. So of course, we cannot not talk about AI in this day and age. And public cloud, or the Grow platform, as we call it, is our de facto solution for all our innovations. So our first innovations generally now come on public cloud. There is a confirmed roadmap that is out there that's already published across various processes on public cloud. These are few examples that we have in terms of the scope of certain AI capabilities that come as part of our public cloud platform. Some of them are already embedded in the platform. Some of them, of course, have to be procured or licensed separately. But these are part of our public cloud platform. I'll also give a brief snippet. I have a video as well just following this, where I would want to showcase an intelligent capability that we have. So just like many of you will be responding to certain customer queries, I certainly know that I do very, very often. And in your industry, one of the key challenges is around variants. I think Pramodji also mentioned in the previous session that every customer will come with its own variant. And many a times the salesperson is always challenged in how do you respond to that customers quickly. So SAP has a solution which is part of public cloud platform, which is called as an intelligent product recommendation. I'll just play it. Where you can just paste the customer's requirement in this engine, and then you can ask the engine to scroll through the text, find out exactly what are those areas for which an intelligent product or a product needs to be recommended. So it crawls through that, looks at certain variants that might fit the bill, and then it also tells about the pricing, it also tells about the lead time, so that when that salesperson is in front of that prospect, he's able to respond to his query much more quickly and provide a more differentiated and a quicker experience to customers. So as you can see, so in the demo, the text was copy-pasted, then it extracted hints, and then you can see some of these blue bars that were highlighted. So in this is the packaging, again part of milk product, but this is for packaging, where the ask was to look out for certain variants, matching certain regulated packaging. And then, of course, the system is able to throw out certain material groups which will fit the bill, along with the lead time, along with the confidence score. And then the person can actually go and see what are those material variants. And then, of course, tell to the customer then and there itself there are tentative pricing for that particular variant, or what could be the lead time, or he can then communicate it in much more methodical and logical manner. So this is about intelligent product recommendation. These are few of our customers. These are reference customers. So hence I'm showcasing these over here. But as I mentioned, we have over 150 plus customers right now of public cloud in India geography alone. And it's our fastest growing product right now, along with other LOB solutions. But the key point over here is that there's a lot of value that has been generated, that has been extracted out of our public cloud solution because of the differentiated user experience, the simplicity of running the solution without sacrificing process depth and industry width. So this is a small video where, again, I'll emphasize on the UX part, both on the Fiori aspects of it as well as the AI aspects of it, of what public cloud has to offer.
At SAP, we strive to enhance your daily life by creating exceptional user experiences. By leveraging AI capabilities and fostering collaboration, We ensure that working with SAP S/4HANA Cloud is effective and efficient. We have revamped the user experience to make My Home the default entry point. This provides easy access to to-dos, system news, favorite apps, and insightful data cards. With AI-assisted filters, the user can find data quickly and benefit from insights and recommendations. AI-powered smart summarization delivers crucial data points, setting the stage for enhanced collaboration with coworkers or customers. And our unique integration with Microsoft Teams facilitates smooth communication and data sharing within your network via audio, video calls, and chats. You can easily share business data as links, tabs, or adaptive card-based loop components. At SAP, our vision is to create dynamic, user-centric SAP S/4HANA Cloud by leveraging partnerships and cutting-edge technologies. We help you get your work done faster and more efficiently, making your daily activities more enjoyable.
So again, we want to give you a brief view on the innovations that we are taking out in public cloud. And because in public cloud, these innovations can be adopted every 6 months. So our innovation cycle in public cloud is 6 months. So all our existing customers can also leverage many of these innovations. So that's our promise that we would want customers to really adopt our solution. So moving on. So this is around building your breakthroughs, as I talked about. So you can also extend. I think one of the favorite topics of SAP customers is how to extend the system. So as you can see, you have multiple options of extending the system. One is around the UX extension. You also can do ABAP coding as well to some bit within the public cloud. You also have a low-code, no-code extensibility platform. Specifically, if you would want to extend your processes. I think we talked about, that order combination one where BTP was eventually used to customize the current manufacturing process. So over here, as you can see, so there are different degrees of variation, and based on the tools, based on the options that I've talked about, depending upon what kind of requirement that you have, you might want to look at various types of extensibility options that public cloud offers you. Right from, as I mentioned, which is low-code, no-code, to UX extensibility, and you can also build your custom apps through our BTP platform. This is a key snapshot on the key user extensibility. So if you would want to change something on the screens per se, so SAP does provide certain options to change certain screens. So again, there is a limitation, of course, because it's more of a fit to standard approach, but there are options SAP provides where you can minorly tweak your screens, probably if a user would want to look at the screen in a different way, or to add certain columns if they would want to. Similarly, from a developer extensibility platform, we have a tool which is called as Steampunk. Again, we are the only ERP provider in public cloud which actually provides this kind of extensibility option, where you can extend your current solution, again, to a limited capacity, and then make your own differentiated processes. I've already talked about grow without limits. So as of now, SAP comes with 59 local versions. We have 33 languages that are supported. And as I mentioned before, we already have customers in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, who have used our platform like configuration localization tool or CLT to build or to localize SAP for their geographies. So that CLT tool is already available, and you can oversee over here that there are already 159 available versions on CLT as well, addressing various geographies across the world. Having said that, the public cloud can also be leveraged in a two-tier landscape. So there are a lot of customers that approach us who, for their headquarters, generally would want to look at a RISE platform or a private cloud edition. But for certain entities, which could be spin-offs, which could be certain entities which might be acquired, they want to put those entities on public cloud so that there is a seamless collaboration, because the platform is the same, the code line is the same, the innovations are the same, the UX is the same. So it's much more easier to collaborate between these two players. We call it as a two-tier ERP. A lot of our large customers reach out to us for this kind of requirement. This is around securing your success. So with public cloud, we have a solution which is called a digital discovery assessment, where you can find out the current scope of public cloud. You can select that scope item. You can save it. You can then export it to the cloud ALM tool, which is a replacement of the erstwhile solution manager we used to have. You can also export that to the process navigator, which one of my preceding speakers spoke about as well. So you can then put those processes inside, or whatever the selected process inside the navigator, so that after some time, a year and a half post-adoption, you can come back and revisit how you're stacking up against the processes that were selected and how they were adopted and how are they stacked up against the industry best practices. Then we have something which is called as the CBC, or the Central Business Configuration, which is our erstwhile SPRO, where you can go and configure the solution. And again, if you run your project through the ALM, then many of the things in CBC can also be automated. So many of the customers don't leverage ALM as of now, but our recommendation is to leverage ALM so that you are able to monitor success of your project, but more importantly, monitor what was initially selected during the pre-sale cycle and finally what was adopted on the ground. And finally, SAP for me is the single point entry screen into SAP. So whatever OSS messages that you would want to raise, whatever issues that you have, you can directly go to the SAP for me platform and then log those issues then and there itself. Moving on, so we also would want to secure your success. And I think there was already a talk, which Pramodji also did, around that because it's a public cloud platform, you don't need to look about you don't need to bother about security standards. You don't need to bother about the backups. You don't need to be bothered about the infrastructure or the changes that need to happen on the infrastructure. All that is managed by SAP, and we are promising a 99.9% uptime as well on the platform. At the same time, if you want certain certifications or if you want certain documents vis-a-vis like SOC 1, SOC 2 reports or something like that, then you can always request those reports from SAP as well, and we'll be happy to provide those too. So more importantly, I think that's just my last two slides only. So our strategy going forward, and you'll hear it many a times, is to eventually go to a business suite strategy. Cloud ERP, the Grow platform, is just a foundational block on this long transformational journey. But SAP is the only ERP, I will say, cloud company which has solutions not only at an ERP level, but also at an LOB level. And eventually also there's a lot of development, a lot of investments that are happening on the AI level. And we're the only company, because of our vast experience in implementing business processes for customers, we're the only company which has that knowledge to give those agentic AIs, so that when we reach to that Nirvana AI stage, we are able to provide you much more differentiated but business relevant outcomes. And there's a lot of focus that is happening on the AI front, which I'm sure you'll be hearing, you would have heard all day. But I just wanted to just summarize on this part that eventually, I think Pramodji also highlighted, we definitely would want customers to experience a lot more that SAP has to offer, which goes much beyond ERP. So finally, this is the summary. This is the key takeaway, last slide. We would want eventually customers to go to our business suite strategy. Of course, there are two journeys: grow with SAP, rise with SAP. Grow with SAP is what SAP is really betting a lot on. That's where the first innovations are coming. But eventually, we would want this business suite journey to have three different layers. The application layer, which is generally the ERP, the LOB applications. Finally, going on to the BDC or Business Data Cloud platform. And finally, once these two things are in sync, probably then we can leverage the AI bit, the agentic AIs that I just spoke about. So with that, I've just gone a little bit overboard with 2-3 minutes. But thank you so much. And I'm happy to take any questions that you have.
Hi, Abhishek.
Hi.
This is Rishi. Abhishek, one question around industry solutions which you are giving in the ECC world for mining, for example. Are you also providing the same on SAP Grow?
So there is a roadmap of not a roadmap. So there are listed mining capabilities that we have as well. Any capability that you are referring to as
No, in
such?
general, because that's another question our business is asked that in the ECC world, we used to get a complete IS solution for mining, for oil and gas, and so on.
That's
So
right.
what happens when we go to when
So
you go to
mining
Grow?
as a company is supported on public cloud. So we have a GTM of mining as well. So we have solutions like bulk logistics, which are there in mining. We do have bulk logistics in public cloud as well. Of course, the detailing out has to be looked at. But as a GTM, we do have mining as part of public cloud GTM.
So if I have to implement the functionalities which you had on the ECC for IS, if I want to implement it right now on Grow, I believe we'll have to do a lot of things on BTP,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
Okay.
It could be, but again, it has to be on a case-to-case basis.
Case-to-case basis.
By the way, we do have few mining companies also working on public cloud. So there are mining companies in Odisha, in eastern part of the country, which is heavily mining oriented. There we do have a couple of customers who are running Grow platform for their mining operations. But
Thank
yes,
you.
we'll have to look at some of those details before we
So
comment
Abhishek,
on it.
Thank you.
I can add a point to your question. I mean, see, the point is that it's defined by all the processes and how and which processes you are using system today. What we had in ECC as a mining solution had certain business process areas and certain calculations and certain logistics process, for example. If those are the need, then it's a different evaluation. But generally what we have seen is that public cloud is a very good fit for mining, specifically if you don't have that kind of complex. So it goes down to actually looking at your business processes a little bit and saying that whether you need that. And then there are other approaches also to handle that. So, but public cloud is being very well used in mining in general.
Any other question?
But a very quick one, please.
जी इस फॉर हाना R&D कैपेबिलिटी के लिए क्या दे रहा है विद जो कि इसमें इंटीग्रेटेड स्टील प्लांट में काम आ सके। दूसरा ये AVC R&D कैपेबिलिटी के लिए क्या करेगा?
So one thing that is part of R&D is engineering change management, ECM thing. So that is already available in public cloud. The other thing is that we have CAD integration or authoring tool integration. That's again part of R&D. That is part of public cloud. We also have the projects bit which is used in R&D. That is also part of public cloud. So we have a decent R&D portfolio as well. Again, it depends upon exact requirements. But in terms of the scope, pretty much what we have on the private cloud side, we have in the public cloud as well.
This is it. Thank you, Abhishek, for this informative presentation. The advantage of SAP S/4HANA public cloud in streamlining processes and enhancing flexibility are evident.